Welcome to another podcast episode of the Soulful Side of Life with me, Ali Portee. I hope that you're well and having a good week. And today's interview is with Max Jackson, an Australian country music artist who, when when I look at her, I see the same sort of youthful hunger that I saw in Lainey Wilson when she was coming up. And I hope that Max never changes, that kindness and hunger never dies within her as she's rising through the ranks of country music. But I did such a quick little interview with her about her love of country music and where it was birthed from. So enjoy this podcast episode with country music artist Max Jackson. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me,
I'm
Max.
so happy to be able to chat with you.
I love your music.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy being here all the way from Australia and
I
having
can
people say that.
imagine.
So thank you.
Yeah, I guess it warms your heart when you're so far from home and
Mhm.
people know your lyrics and
It really is an incredible experience to, be so far from home. Like we flew literally 26 hours in the air. And this is my first time ever coming. I've been to Germany and then come here to the UK for my very first time. So it's an incredible experience.
I can imagine. When did you realize that you wanted to be a country music singer?
I honestly can't remember a time in my life where I didn't. So my mum and dad were country music fans. My mum's a hairdresser and my dad works in transport management. So I definitely didn't grow up in like a musical household or even have help to, learn guitar or anything like that. But they would take me to a lot of my favorite artists' shows. And I grew up in a country town. So I thought country music was the only thing that existed, obviously. I remember when we moved when I was about 13 years old and my friends told me about the Spice Girls. And I was like, what is the Spice Girls?
But
But
you knew who Garth Brooks was.
of course, I knew who Garth Brooks was. I knew who Dolly Parton was and Shania Twain, and that was the music that raised me up. So it's sort of just been ever since I was like a little girl. I just have wanted to be on stage, and I would say to my mum and dad, "I want to be a country singer when I grow up," and they thought, we have no idea what to do with this girl, but we're going to try. And, they would drive me to every festival and everything I wanted to get up and play at. And I'm so grateful that they did because, it's led to incredible opportunities like this.
Yeah. So country music, it's a very saturated genre,
Mhm,
I would say.
mhm.
Maybe not as big as pop, but
Yes.
what do you feel that you bring to the table of country music?
Look, I really always try to make my music all about bringing people together and creating a lot of positivity. I think there's so much sadness, happiness, and, things going on in the world that can just really get you down, obviously. And so I really try to make my music a place of connection and positivity and fun. And we really try to get, audiences involved in what we're doing, get them to sing along and do the whole thing. So it's really just about that positivity and putting smiles on people's faces.
Yeah, for sure. How would you describe the country music scene in Australia?
The country music scene in Australia is so exciting. And I've loved country music my whole life, but now it's like you can walk into, the shopping center and there is cowboy hats and there's cowboy boots and people are coming to the genre that have never listened to it previously. And I think the thing that has really happened in Australia is people have realized how connected with Australian culture country music is because it's really about mateship, storytelling. I mean, I don't know if it's the same here, but coming from a country town, you'd sit around the kitchen table and tell stories. And that was one of the most entertaining things. And it's like people's stories would just continue to evolve and get more exciting as
Right.
time would go on, as you'd retell them over and over. So it was really about that for me. And I think people have realized that, it's really a place for you to come together with your mates, maybe go on camp at a festival or hang out with people and listen to music that's really connected. So I think it's really special in Australia, and I'm seeing exactly that here on the ground in the UK.
So there was no cowboy boots 20 plus years ago. Like I imagine with the outback that Australians were wearing boots and hats.
Look, we have like iconic brands like RM Williams and a Kubra and things like that that have always been like very country and I guess more like life on the land sort of style, but like the actual like cowboy boots and like Western wear stuff has like really become something that you can like go to a store and buy in a lot of different towns over like the
Gotcha.
last couple of years.
Gotcha. I see. Okay. Um, why do you think that did you Would you say country music artists outside of the US have to go to Nashville to make it to
I live in Australia. I've spent a bunch of time in Nashville,
Okay.
going and writing and obviously working on my craft, and it's been amazing because it really gives you perspective of how many incredibly talented people there are out
Sure.
there. But I think it's really amazing, particularly for me. My social media has been the way that I've been able to connect with people all over the world. So I did this series where I would make non-country songs a little more country, and it was particularly through my versions of like Dancing Queen and Summer of 69 that a lot of people found me and followed me, and they would write to me and say, when are you going to come to insert town here? So that's been really amazing, the best way to connect me with people. And I'm just like, I want to champion the fact that I don't think you have to live in one place to have success in country music, but it would be incredible just to be able to have a house in Nashville, a house in London, a house in Australia, and be able to play to country music fans all over the world.
A couple of last questions. How has your C2C been so far?
It has been awesome. You know what I've really noticed is that the fans here are like really dedicated and they've got the most amazing outfits on. They like want the set list at the end of the show and they want it signed and they want to take something special home with them. And I've really, really loved that. And I think it just makes me excited to be able to come back. We're going to come back next year with my whole band and play a bunch of shows. So just excited to meet more fans, you know, further and wider across, not just in London.
Right. Last question. So it's Women's History Month in most of the English speaking world. What is one thing that you feel as a female artist that you could have needed or used when you first started? How can women support women?
Oh, wow. I mean, in so many ways, I think it's really, really important. Like, I always try when I'm in rooms where I have a voice to mention friends of mine who are in the industry who I think are amazing. And here at the festival at the moment, Fanny Lumsden is one of my friends in the industry, and she's someone who really inspires me every day. She's an incredible songwriter and singer, and she's very different to me. She's like a folk sort of country singer songwriter, but I just think when we mention our friends' names and how amazing they are, we really do, you know, open them up to wider audiences. And when they do the same for us, it's incredible. So I definitely just believe in mentioning, you know, incredible women's names and how amazing they are at their jobs.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I hope that you enjoyed this podcast episode and that you have found a soulful connection to the conversation. God bless you, and until the next episode, go bless somebody else.